22's presentation of U.S. Soccer is brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Phillips, technology should be as simple as the box it comes in. And the new Chevrolets, 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months, an American revolution. And welcome back. Festive atmosphere as the United States seeking their 5th consecutive World Cup appearance. Taking on Panama this evening. Carlos Bocanegra bringing it up the left side. 4-man back line today for the U.S. Lost one into Brian McBride. Header popped up. Chases it down again. Eddie Lewis in pursuit, but cleared out by Luis Moreno of Panama. Julio Deli Valdez heads it in. Here's Frankie Haydick of the Columbus Crew, a native of Cardiff, California. Back to Eddie Pope. Carries Zavagnin. Pope and Zavagnin. 2 of 3 former University of North Carolina Tar Heels starting today's game for the U.S. Again, a lofted ball into McBride. Beasley lays it off. Haydick. United States in the midst of an 11-game unbeaten run, a team record, 7 wins and 4 ties in their last 11 games. Haydick tripped up, first whistle of the game. We'd like to thank Budweiser and all of our U.S. soccer sponsors for allowing us to bring you this game without interruption. Eddie Lewis, the lefty, over this one. Played his college ball at UCLA. A lot of big targets for the U.S. sent in. One-time effort just goes wide by Eddie Pope, who used to play his professional ball here at RFK Stadium for DC United. Take a look at the starting 11 for the United States. Casey Keller in the nets, forced to make only 2 saves Saturday in El Salvador as he pitched his 35th career shutout.
Going to play in a 4-4-2-4 in the back. Key is Berhalter and Eddie Pope. They're going to be big and strong. That's what a lot of balls are going to be played into. And in the midfield, very important for Landon Donovan and Zavagnin to hold up the middle, force the ball wide. And up front, you got Brian McBride and Josh Wolf.
There's McBride off the bottom of his boot, throw in for Panama. Panama, a very good team on the road, particularly in this stage of World Cup qualifying. They won in Kingston, Jamaica last month, a victory that really no one foresaw, and they have been really kind of a spunky, feisty team through qualifying. And Bruce Arena is worried about this team. They have a lot of individual players who can make a difference.
You know, they've got some good players. The problem is you never get to see these guys. Every 3 years you get to see them World Cup qualifying. You don't know what they have. All of a sudden you start realizing they got players like Medina. They got Deli Valdez. They've got good players. They just need to work together more.
This is Julio Medina striking it, going far post. Headed down right to Casey Keller. As we take a look at the starting 11 for Panama, in the nets, Donaldo Gonzalez, 32-year-old, plays his professional ball in Honduras.
In Panama, we're coming out in a 4-4-2 with Torres and Rivera, the 2 guys centrally. They're going to be watching McBride and Josh Wolf in the midfield. This is key. Phillips and Medina with their speed. Those where they're going to be playing a lot of the balls through them. And up front, 2 guys that are very good in the air, Deli Valdez and Brown, number 11.
Marcus Beasley tripped up a few seconds ago, no whistle. Donovan tripped up right in front of the referee, Ramash Ramdan. This is a Trinidadian officiating crew. Another foul on Panama. Second foul of the game on Panama. Landon Donovan wearing the captain's armband for the 2nd consecutive game for the U.S. today over this ball. There's Gonzalez. 5-man wall. Back post, McBride heads it. Berhalter's there, just off target.
And you can see clearly what they're doing. They float the ball far post. Brian McBride just playing it right back into the middle. Here comes Greg Berhalter. Gets up with an arm in his back and just puts it to the outside. But you can see how they're looking to play far post, knock it back in for the second runner.
Yeah, that was designed.
They were doing a lot of that yesterday. I think, feeling what they were doing yesterday, restarts, corner kicks, they're going to be very key tonight, and they have to be a little more successful than they've been over the last 2 or 3 games with those.
Well, won by Deli Valdez. There's Eddie Pope. That's a right back to Valdez. Pokes it up and out of bounds. This will be a throw-in for the U.S. This portion of the match presented by Gatorade. Alberto Blanco sends it across the field. His teammate Luis Enrique is in a foot race. Blast it towards the box. Eddie Pope heads it up. Carries to Vagnon. Over to Haydick. Panama wins it back. Haydick steps up. Here's DeMarcus Beasley playing on the right side tonight, as Eddie Lewis has really played well in practices lately and earned a starting nod on the left side. Another foul on Panama.
You can clearly see every time they start moving the ball, getting a little 1-2 pass, getting them, they're going to get taken down. Panama wants to stop the rhythm and the flow of the U.S.
Winningest head coach in U.S. men's national team history is Bruce Arena. This is a home game for him as he makes his home in Virginia. Easy commute for him this week. Beasley again almost tripped up, eludes a man. Too strong on that one. Spoke with Bruce Arena yesterday, and there were several key points he brought up to us as Deli Valdez is offsides on what's important for his team to be successful this evening.
I think watching the last 2 games, you have to deal with Panama's aerial presence. They're very good. They knock the ball wide, get into the box, breaking down their defense with better possession and finishing. They're capitalizing on their chances. Those are the 3 that Bruce feels is going to get them over the top today and get the 3 points.
Capitalizing on chances sounds kind of, well, you know, no-duh-esque. But Arena feels opportunities for scoring for both teams are going to be at a premium tonight, and these teams need to hit when they get those chances.
Exactly, and they've already shown it once with the ball coming back across to Berhalter. Berhalter just putting it wide. Those are the opportunities he's talking about. They need to do a better job of finishing. Getting an early goal would be key right now, putting Panama back on their heels. But you like what the U.S. is doing. The U.S. came out, put their basically the pedal down on the gas, and is putting pressure on them. And that's going to happen the first 5 to 10 minutes, and then it'll finally slow down.
Torres finds Brown. Berto Brown plays it back. Rivera sends a long ball in, easily won by Berhalter. There's Brian McBride, very active early on. Focal point of several flighted balls by the U.S. as Haydick plays it all the way back. Casey Keller. Keller in an unfamiliar position, Marcelo, in Europe, sitting on the bench. Longtime starter in the English Premier League, and not seeing those starts with Tottenham this year.
Well, Casey Keller's a good goalkeeper. I think more than him, he's frustrated because he didn't get the chance to keep his position. They basically just gave it to the other guy. But you know what? For me, I'd like to see Casey where he's at, because now maybe he's got an opportunity to come back to the MLS, and that's what, I mean, getting older age, still can play in Europe if he wants, but I like the fact that he's talking about maybe already coming back to the MLS and playing in the MLS for years.
We spoke with him yesterday. He made it blatantly obvious that come January, when the international transfer window opens up again, he is going to be actively looking for another team. And I said, hey, Salt Lake City's looking for a side, and he smiled. You know, if Seattle was granted an MLS team next year, he would be in Major League Soccer next year. But he is certainly up and open to the concept of joining Real Salt Lake City.
No doubt, but I mean, you have to look at Seattle. If that happened to come in, what an opportunity. Homecoming, signing him in is great. That's not going to happen for a while. Utah looking for that. Great opportunity, great fit for Casey Keller and his family, and now he just has to make a decision in January.
Outlet wide left. Enriquez closed down by Donovan. Finds Medina. Just 5'5", 142 is the blonde Medina, a man who may be on a pseudo tryout tonight, hoping to catch the eyes of some Major League Soccer teams, as are a lot of these players, Marcelo.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to talk to Jorge Deli Valdez, who's on the bench, brother of Julio Valdez, and they're talking there's 4 or 5 guys that would really like, and they know that the coaches are here watching them. Medina knows, Brown knows, Rivera knows in the back. So yeah, they know that, but I think that's in the back of your mind right now. You have to come out, you got to get a point, try to get into the next round of qualifying.
Rivera's clearance blocked by McBride. And that'll go for a deep throw in for the visitors. Jose Hernandez, Colombian, used to coach for Deportivo Cali, the manager for Panama, ranked number 103 in the latest FIFA World Rankings. This portion of the match presented by Chevy. Bagnan, Kansas City Wizard, plays it back to Bocanegra. Finding Wolf, back heel, Donovan running onto it, toe pokes it to McBride. Still pressuring Panama in the box, finally cleared out. Phillips wins it, plays it back, dribbling out of danger is Blanco, back to Phillips. Donovan, huge run on the defensive side. And earns the U.S. an eventual throw-in. That's why he's wearing the captain's armband, folks. That is leadership. That is not vocal leadership. That is just field play leadership.
Yeah, but there's always 2 kinds of leaders. You know, there's a guy that leads by example and a guy that's a vocal leader. Landon's going to be a guy that leads by example. And right there shows you something that Claudio probably wouldn't do, have to chase a guy like that. Landon out of the midfield, chases them down, breaks down the play.
Beasley fouled. The referee, I believe, is telling him to get up. I think he's going to give Beasley a card for diving. This is the 2nd time today that Beasley's gone down, was obviously fouled. And instead, he gets a yellow for apparently diving, unless he said something, which could be the case. But the first yellow card of the game to DeMarcus Beasley. And coach, I'm just as confused as you are. You maybe see that on the road if you're the United States, but at home,
it's just an early call. Usually you don't make these kind of calls, but here's Landon Donovan coming out of the midfield, chasing down Phillips, breaking up the play. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for these guys, and you can see the way they're backing each other up. They're working hard for each other. Now the thing is getting the ball in the final third and putting the ball in the goal.
Eddie Lewis to Bocanegra. Possession predominantly in favor of the United States tonight. Frankie Hayduk sending Josh Wolf down the right side, and Enriquez will shepherd this one out of bounds. Take a look at that. No call on the foul by Beasley here. Settles it. Cuts. Gets tripped. Goes down and earns a yellow card.
You know, maybe the referee's just trying to set the tone. That, to me, is a bad call. 13 minutes in, 12, and I'll be honest, 12 minutes in.
That's a horrible
call. That's not
a
dive. That's not a dive. He gets hit. You know, you don't do those kind of calls. You make that in the box. He's only taken 1 or 2 dives. You don't do that. You already put Beasley back on his heels. Now he's got to worry about another foul, and he's out of the game. That's just too early for a yellow card for that magnitude.
And here's another foul on the United States. Mr. Ramdan must have had his whistle tuned up today, because he is using it. I love that face from Coach Arena. I mean, he's saying, are you kidding me? We are the home team, right? Interesting. Here is Panama sending one into the box. Falls. Looked like that was a handball. No call. We're not in Panama City, right?
We are in D.C.,
okay.
Washington, D.C.
Just checking.
See, it's accidental, but it comes up, hits his hand, you call it. It's a simple call.
That was Roberto Brown with the uncalled handball. Keller outlets it to Bocanegra. Berhalter seeing some pressure, back to Keller. Pushing everybody up. Here comes the long ball. Won well by Anthony Torres. Followed up by Manuel Torres. Valdez trying to head on his man, but Pope is there. McBride flicks it, nobody there. Enriquez going by Beasley, then losing it to Beasley, then almost pulling down Beasley. Here is DeMarcus playing with a dubious yellow card, cutting through the middle of the field. On his left, fakes it. Lewis lays it off. McBride fires, just off target. What a beautiful buildup.
But that's what we're talking about. Look at Beasley coming across the middle, getting his head up, but look at the guys running off the ball. Eddie Lewis does a great job sending the ball up to McBride, and that's what we're talking about, capitalizing on the chances that you have right there. Great ball in there, splits him. Eddie Lewis drops it back with a heel. Brian McBride comes in and just puts it wide. But that's what we're talking about. You need to do a better job with those.
Now remember, early on in the El Salvador game, Brian McBride was denied a goal by a very late and a very poor, let's be honest, offside call. It was a phantom flag. McBride would eventually get his goal. And he sits second on the all-time world U.S. goal scoring list, behind Eric Winalda, who's just inducted into the National Soccer Hall of Fame. Take a look at the U.S. bench. Clint Mathis, Ed Johnson. Kobe Jones has been such a great sub off the bench. Tony Sane will not be available today. You see him with his flats on. Bobby Convey and Tim Howard of Manchester United, the backup keeper.
So that's Rivera, the one just, boom, you said Eddie Lewis just kind of sit on him a little bit. And, well, he gets carted off, quick carried off, and now he's running down the sideline.
Oh, yeah, he just sprinted off that stretcher, didn't he? Well, push in the match presented by Chiquita.
I'm sure the coach is telling them, get up. You can't afford to play one man down, even for a minute in this game.
Absolutely not. Both teams back at full strength. Again, McBride on his left, sends it in. Intended for Donovan, two Panamanians collide. Here's Eddie Lewis going low. Wolf, and a foul on Eddie Lewis. Look, folks, I'm not being a homer here, but there are a lot of dubious whistles against the U.S. right now. I'd be saying the same thing if it was against Panama.
No, I agree, but on that instant, I will say this. In the game now, in the modern game, they won't allow you to go into heated with his legs and is exposing the bottom of his shoes. That's a dangerous play. That's why that foul was called.
Fair enough. Looks like Eddie Pope just took a knock as he's down on his knees. Didn't see what happened to Eddie.
Ball goes in the end. This is what you can look for on a great job. Puts his arm up, but you can see right there, they just collide heads, and that's all it takes. But you see, that's where you're going to see a lot of the game tonight on Panama side, and that's what the U.S. has to do a better job of, trying to stop the crosses, getting the ball into the box, getting your arm up, protect yourself.
Head-to-head with Roberto Brown goes Pope.
You can see Pope coming in, and you can see Brown just trying to flick it on, and that's when they hit heads.
ESPN2 wraps up its regular season coverage of Major League Soccer. Live this Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, Freddie Adu and DC United host Eddie Gavin and the MetroStars. Both teams battling for home field advantage in the playoffs. They will meet each other in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference playoffs, but home field advantage will be up for grabs. So this will be the first of 3 consecutive meetings between those two teams live this Sunday on ESPN2. Eddie Pope getting his head checked. That is Oguchi Onyewu. Warming up, played his collegiate ball in Clemson, now professional player in Belgium. He is a specimen, 6'2", 180, is a horse. And Bruce Arena told us yesterday, if Berhalter or Pope goes down, I am not afraid to put this guy in the game, even though he's never played for the United States men's national team.
So, like you said, a specimen. I saw him yesterday. They're crossing balls, he's shooting balls. He is just a tank.
Eddie Pope back in as the U.S. gets set to defend the first corner kick of the game for either team. Scoreless in the 20th minute. Medina, lefty service. Volley back in, cleared out by Berhalter. Nice ball, finding Phillips. Poor ball there by Phillips. Here's Eddie Lewis. Josh Wolf on his horse down the left side. Has Beasley and Donovan. Lewis and McBride now entering the fray. There it is! 1-0 U.S. Landon Donovan, your captain.
Talk about our counterattack. Josh Wolf does a great job, gets inside, plays a great ball. Look at Landon, boop, just puts it right by the keeper. Real simple, just places it into a corner. But you got to give credit to Josh Wolf. What a great run down the sideline. Gets the ball, gets his head up. Look at this ball bending between defenders, and there's Landon Donovan. Thank you very much. 1-0 USA.
18th international goal for the 22-year-old from Redlands, California. He had an assist Saturday in El Salvador on Ed Johnson's goal, and now has a finish of his own. He is extremely proud and honored to be wearing that captain's armband as well. I was just about to say how well Panama had handled the opening 20 minutes and kind of weathered this opening offensive storm by the U.S., and then this happens for them. Luis Moreno about to be pressured by Wolf. Rather, that was Anthony Torres. This push in the match presented by Phillips. Here is Moreno with the throw-in. Dele Valdez bumped by Bocanegra. Ricardo Phillips trying to spin by Bocanegra. Carlos stays with them step for step, throwing for Panama.
Steve, get ready to go!
Bocanegra did not play Saturday's game at El Salvador. Some hamstring injury issues. They wanted to give him some time to heal properly. It's a foul on the U.S.
Come on now!
Free kick for Panama. Medina will take it.
No, you hold it. You hold that space. Eddie, man! Top of the box!
Just talked about Keller's vocal leadership. There it is on display.
Another step!
Nice ball put in. Headed off of Phillips, and this will be a goal kick for the U.S. We go back to the 21st minute, and Donovan's goal.
I mean, just a good look. He plays a low ball, landed smart, just hits it with the outside, puts him in. Poor defending by Panama. Great run by Landon Donovan to get in front of his defender.
Get that one. Rivera in trouble, loses it. McBride goes down and stays down. U.S. still with possession. Lewis sends it in. Ryan McBride trying to get up. Took a whack on the right foot, it looked like. Out of bounds. This will stay with the U.S. Ryan McBride, 26 goals, second most in U.S. men's national team history. 8 behind Eric Winalda. Good work there by Kerry Zavagnin. He was eventually fouled. Zavagnin does those little things, the dirty work that really go unnoticed, but not unnoticed to the coaching staff.
Good with the ball. He can make a 30-40 yard pass, and that's where you don't have a lot from defensive midfielders. That's 5-6 yard pass. Zavagnin's got very good vision for long balls.
Lofted ball by Berhalter. Brought in by Gonzalez. Quickly boots it out. Bump off on Berhalter. Free kick, Panama. Sixth U.S. foul tonight. Moreno with not a world-class pass.
No, but this is what the U.S. needs to do. Last time they played against Panama, Phillips came in the game and really had his way down the right side, and same with Medina. They're doing a better job tonight of closing them down, not letting them get early services, and not letting them break into their speed running down the wings.
Well played by Greg Berhalter. And there's Beasley. This portion of the match presented by the Home Depot. One touch Lewis to Wolf. Spins, drops it off to Beasley. Beasley on his right has Haydick into the attack. Plays it to him. Haydick sends it in. Bouncing ball. Dummy by McBride, and another foul on the U.S. Tomorrow night, ESPN has a battle of unbeatens. Louisville Cardinals hoping to keep their BCS Buster dreams alive as they take on the Miami Hurricanes. College football primetime presented by Cooper Tires, Thursday, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Lewis, there's Bocanegra making a run down the left side. Lewis can't quite get it to him, spins away. Donovan tries to get it to Bocanegra, no luck, and cleared out by Luis Moreno. Towering clearance that's headed out of bounds by Berhalter.
And that's what you like about the U.S. team. They're not afraid to send the two outside, Carlos Bocanegra and Frankie Haydick, forward and leave the two center backs man to man.
Berto Brown drives one. Handball on Phillips, so the U.S. will bring it out. McBride times that one right. Wolf can't handle it. Enriquez works his way through the double team very nicely. Flicks it up, Blanco. Off of Zavagnin. Several famous Panamanian athletes you've heard of. Roberto Duran, No Mas, right? Rod Carew, great hitter, Major League Baseball. Mariano Rivera, the stellar closer for the New York Yankees, who we were told just before kickoff is watching this game right now in the Yankees clubhouse. That is devotion. Bocanegra with the throw in. Finds Wolf. Zavagnin. Beasley. There's Medina for Panama. Dribbling out of danger. Well read by Donovan. Here's Eddie Lewis. Flights one far post. Enriquez blasts it out of bounds. Throw in for the U.S. Jamaica and El Salvador have just kicked off the other game in this group of CONCACAF semifinal World Cup qualifying. We'll update that score for you throughout the broadcast. U.S. takes on Jamaica November 17th in Columbus, Ohio at Crew Stadium. Final game of 6 semifinal World Cup qualifiers for the U.S. and they are hoping that if they win today, they'll be able to throw out really an experimental roster and get some young players some added experience in a game that is not a must-win situation. talk more about that at halftime. Bocanegra, 1 goal, 1 assist this season for the U.S. Looking for McBride. Medina, though, wins that one. Beasley tripped up. He has not gotten a call tonight at all.
He hasn't, but he also has to be careful. He got up, he threw his hands up in the air. The way the referee's been calling the game, that could be another yellow card, and all of a sudden now you're playing with a man down. So he has to learn to control his emotions a little more and just play the game. Forget about the referee and just keep playing.
There is Beasley, one-time ball, looking for Josh Wolf. Gonzalez well off his line, brings it in. This portion of the match presented by Gatorade. Josh Wolf with Kansas City, 9 goals, 7 assists, 25 points, tied for 6th most on the Budweiser scoring leader list in Major League Soccer. Kansas City has a big game this weekend as they take on LA for first place in the Western Conference, the final weekend of MLS action in the regular season this weekend. Berhalter, quick ball looking for Wolf. Enriquez leaking forward. Haydick reads it well. Haydick played as a midfielder last Saturday in El Salvador. Today he's back into his fullback position, but he's as offensive as any defender will get. And there's a patented Frankie Haydick diving 2-footed tackle. This one wasn't in the box.
No, but this is a much better system for Frankie Haydick. He doesn't have to, in that position in a 3-5-2, you're running up and back, going forward, getting back. This, he can sit back, pick and choose when he wants to go forward, but make sure he covers that right back.
Medina sends it in. Pope can't quite time it correctly. Phillips has it. Sends one in. Casey Keller has it. Nice ball from Ricardo Phillips, but well read by that man, Casey Keller. Lacey, Washington native, just outside of Seattle. Grew up on an egg farm. Can't make that stuff up. Saved by Haydick. Beasley, Savagnin, Beasley, Donovan. Too strong for Wolf. Savvy defensive effort, and then he's finally fouled at midfield. Timed that step up perfectly by going right by Roberto Brown. Nice entry ball to Wolf by Berhalter. Can't maintain it though. Here comes Panama and Torres. Too strong for Blanco. That ball needs to be better from Greg Berhalter. Throw in for the U.S. McBride flicks it on. Wolf tripped up. Another foul on Panama. Ninth foul of the game on Panama. There's Greg Berhalter. Left side of his face has been completely reconstructed. Took an elbow by a teammate in practice a few months ago. Broke his nose, all the bones around the eye, lacerated a tear duct. After surgery, he flew back to the United States for a wedding. The cabin pressure in the plane forced one of the implants to protrude out. Sinus cavity blew the eyeball up to the size of a golf ball, and he has permanent tear duct damage. Must have made for some great wedding pictures.
But it's not done. Then he had stomach surgery.
Yeah.
Had that infected, kept him out, had to go back in to clean that up. So he's definitely had a long 13 months of trying to get healthy to get back on this field.
I wonder what the healthcare program is in Germany where he plays professionally. Hope it's better than the one I have.
Come on!
Free kick for Panama. Again, it is Julio Medina, number 10, over the ball.
Right in the pride, big fucking time!
Brian McBride winning just about every ball that's been sent his way offensively and defensively. Again, Landon Donovan, our goal scorer, off an assist from that man, Josh Wolf, in the 21st minute. Donovan's 18th career international goal. This portion of the match presented by Budweiser. Berhalter steps up, heads it away from Brown. Nice bit of possession here by Panama. Alberto Blanco down the left side. Lays it in, tries to get it back on a nice one-touch from Dele Valdez. We go back to that U.S. goal, and with the help of slow motion, we take a look at Wolf.
Correct. You can see the run, the little guy's behind, but look at the ball bending in right there. Look at Landon, boop, just with the outside of his foot. But it's the run, the placement of the ball, and Landon with the outside of his foot. I love Dartmouth's throw motion. I love the new technology.
Yeah. Give Donovan a lot of credit on that finish, too. A lot of players would have taken an extra time and an extra touch to settle it, set themselves up even better. He gave that keeper no chance with that quick flick on the outside of the boot.
And that's what we talked about. It's the running off the ball. He gets it down. All of a sudden, he's making that run. He's so fast, gets in front of his defender, like you said, doesn't try to trap it. First time with the outside of his foot, puts it by the keeper.
Brown spinning away. Hayden steps up to win it. Beasley plays it right back to Panama. Wins it back. It goes back to Panama. Out of bounds. Score update from Kingston, Jamaica, and El Salvador tied at zeros. El Salvador in last place in this group of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. They have 3 points. They are still alive, but my oh my, do they need a win. Qualifying scenario for the United States, a win or a tie combined with the Jamaica loss. They're in the final round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. But I guarantee you there is no scoreboard watching right now. U.S. is determined and focused solely on winning this one.
But, and they know, and the coaching staff knows, an opportunity to win tonight means a lot of the European players stay home for the next game. Now you can take a look. Not saying you're not going to look at the guys that are on the bench, but you might take a chance with a few younger players. But bottom line, if you want to keep the streak going, if you can go throughout the whole year with only losing 1 game, you got to do that, and you're out to win every game.
Bagnan back to Beasley. Diving header. Torres stays with the U.S. Beasley playing with the yellow card he received in the 12th minute for diving. Poor clearance. Donovan has it. Looking for Wolf. Lays it off. One-time effort. Fired and just off target, a shade by Zavagnin. Zavagnin had an assist last Saturday in El Salvador. Not bad for a guy who's out there primarily for his defensive work and passing.
He does. Look at, gets a good look at it, but just puts it wide. But you see the layoff back. Good layoff. Zavagnin just doesn't put it on target, but that's what you like. Get some shots from the outside. Make Panama's defense start stepping up so you can find those gaps again.
Panama making a substitution right now. This is pretty much the golden rule of soccer. If you have been subbed out in the first half, you better be injured. Otherwise, you did not play well. Luis Enriquez comes out. In his place comes Victor Miranda. didn't notice an injury to Enriquez. Maybe Miranda brings them a little bit more offense, but still awfully early to make that sub.
But the only thing you make a sub, like you said, if you're injured, or two, if you're going to tactically change the lineup or the way you're going to play. Instead of playing 4 in the back, you're going to go to maybe a 3-5-2, and that's why you make a sub.
I would say that was probably the case, as there's Miranda already sliding up to the offensive third for Panama. Here is Miranda on the ball. Sent in. Deli Valdez couldn't get that one down. Donovan goes up, can't win it. Haydick does. So it does look like Panama has adjusted from 4 in the back to 3 in the back. So it was a tactical move. Is it going to pay off? Beasley, they really delayed offside flag. DeMarcus must have done something to this officiating crew before the game, because he has gotten absolutely nothing today.
See right there, the ball's getting in, and right there you can see right across there, right when he plays the ball, right there he's in an offside position. You know, it's just timing. It's just a matter that maybe that extra little touch, that extra little turn is what got it.
Beasley playing his professional ball in Holland right now for PSV Eindhoven, which is on top of the Dutch league. Wolf, McBride on his right. Had a goal Saturday. This one is blocked. Played back to Gonzalez.
You know, but this is what you like to see from the U.S. team. When they come and they play at home, step it up. Put pressure on Panama. Put them on the heels. Don't let them get into any kind of rhythm, and that's what they've done tonight.
Eddie Pope might have gotten away with an elbow right there. Now a foul on Panama. It looked like Eddie kind of went up with, I wouldn't say that was a premeditated elbow, but that was awfully high for Eddie.
From here, it awfully high, and it awfully looked like he threw it at him.
I agree. Frankie Haydick was fouled by Deli Valdez. And there's your referee, Ramesh Ramdan from Trinidad. Eddie Lewis off his chest, almost curled around his defender. Long ball, sending Phillips for a run. Out of bounds, throw in for the U.S. ABC is your home for MLS Cup 2004, live Sunday, November 14th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be with you from the Home Depot Center in Carson, California. ABC Sports, home of championship television. And this run-up to MLS Cup 2004 is as wide open as I think it has ever been in MLS's 9-year history. Dina sends one in. Oh, nicely settled by Brown, and then there's Haydick sliding up. This will be a goal kick for the U.S. Frankie Haydick makes the Energizer Bunny look like a slacker. Guy just keeps on going.
You know he's going to give you an honest day's work. Honest 90 minutes, no doubt about it, up and back, and he'll give you everything he can. And like McBride, you see McBride, same thing up front. He'll move, he'll get into positions, and that's what you like about a center forward.
And here is Haydick in the offense, sending one. Lewis can't get it. McBride almost does. Medina, offside flag is up. As we approach the 45th minute, the United States with a 1-0 lead, but they still have yet to take a corner kick this half. McBride, flick on. Here's Eddie Lewis, just a bit too strong on that first touch. Eddie Lewis playing his professional ball now. Preston North End in England. 1 goal, 1 assist, and 6 starts. This is 7th start of the year for the U.S. men's national team. Gonzalez, this is 23rd appearance for Panama. It's Brian McBride. Wolf holds off his man, spins, and is fouled by Rivera. Josh Wolf has been fighting a litany of nagging injuries the last year and a half. Seems to be approaching that full national team speed. 2 minutes of stoppage time will be added. Bocanegra looking for McBride. Dummies that one, but no one was on the back door. Coming up at halftime, Marcel and I will look ahead at the World Cup qualifying picture, including the other CONCACAF groups. Some of the legends of soccer in the United States inducted into the National Soccer Hall of Fame this week in Oneonta, New York. We'll talk about that, show you. Plus, a slow motion look at our highlights. That's all coming up at halftime. We're less than a minute away from the end of this first half. McBride looking for a call in the box. He is not going to get that one. Quick outlet by Gonzalez. Falls to Phillips, taking on Berhalter. Here's Donovan back in defense. So is Bocanegra, who trips him out. And a handball called on Panama, apparently as Phillips was falling down after being tripped up.
It comes into that. You can't. Doesn't really foul him. You see, Carlos Bocanegra pulls back. Referee does a good job there. Phillips falls in the ball, uses his hands. The referee calls it. But if you're going to give Beasley a yellow card for a dive, that's one right there too.
Right. Oh, McBride just hammered and is still down. Oh, good gracious. That was quite an aerial collision.
McBride coming in, boom, you see Rivera right there. Wow, that is a collision and a half. Look at that, boom.
Just caught Brian,
and you can see
his
Brian
body's turning.
Not looking at the player, just watching the ball, and just gets taken out. Wow.
And he had no landing either. That right foot was coming down to plant to land, and it got kicked out at the last second too. So he landed on the tailbone and also took a shot in that chest shoulder area.
As a defender, you're telling yourself nice, because the forward's not looking. You're going for the ball. And you can see Rivera goes for the ball. He's not going for the body. Doesn't undercut him. They go up for a 50-50 ball. McBride happens to beat him, and he takes a punishment for beating him to the ball.
It's a tough way to end a half. Checking the range of motion in that right shoulder is Brian McBride. They also have big Connor Casey. No, actually, Connor Casey is not available today. It'll be Eddie Johnson or Clint Mathis as your forward option should McBride not be able to continue, although it looks like he's ready to walk on the field. But this should be it for the first half. 2 minutes of stoppage time. This is something I never understood, Marcelo, with officiating. Clearly the half is over. As soon as this goal kick is struck, he's going to blow the whistle. And they always make that tendency to wait until you finally just blast it deep, and then you blow the whistle.
Well, you got to remember, players are getting evaluated, referees are getting evaluated. It says 2 minutes, you got to get to those 2 minutes. I don't agree, but that's, that's the rule.
Sure. All right. We're going by the book tonight. There's Brian McBride. Been very active in this first half, as is Kerry Zavagnin, but that man, Landon Donovan, the difference maker, scoring his 18th international goal to give the U.S. a 1-0 lead at the break. What's coming up next for the U.S. come November? And what might the roster look like? That and more when we return to our nation's capital, the U.S., with the lead at the break, 1-0. And with the victory, they move on to the final round of World Cup qualifying. Only shown to be dangerous on their restarts And the main point, get that second goal and end this game. Again, regardless of what Jamaica and El Salvador do tonight in Kingston, with a 3-point victory tonight, the U.S. would advance to the final round of World Cup qualifying, getting set for FIFA World Cup 2006 in Germany. And we are underway in the second half. Donovan blasts a deep ball down the left side. Nobody there. We would like to thank Phillips and all of our U.S. soccer sponsors for allowing us to bring you this game without interruption.
Okay.
We saw Brian McBride take a hard aerial knock at the end of that first half. He is out on the field. No substitutions for the United States to start the second stanza. Beasley with the interception. McBride spins away from Medina, plays it back to Beasley. No whistle there as the ball floats back to Eddie Pope, who took a hard head knock late in that second half as well. There's Bocanegra up the left side. Eddie Lewis getting the start today. Finds Josh Wolf, who has an assist on Donovan's goal. Medina plays it back and blasted out by Moreno. Carries Zavagnin. Lofting one too tall for McBride, and this will fall to Gonzalez. Now the U.S. knows how to hold on to a halftime lead. Those are just some amazing numbers, particularly at home. I mean, even just period under Bruce Arena, but that is sealing up a lead, folks. Again, the United States coming into this game on a team record 11-match unbeaten streak. 7 wins, 4 ties. Only 1 loss this year, and that came on the road in Holland. No shame in losing there. First foul of the second half. Whistled on the United States and carries Zavagnin.
This is what Bruce was saying. This is where they're dangerous. This is where they need to do God. They can't have any laxes, any rest now. This is the best part of Panama's game.
Short ball, play to Moreno. Wide open is Torres. Wolf closes him down. Square ball to Blanco. Blanco tries to force one in, broken up by a duo of U.S. defenders. Beasley tripped up as he went for the ball, and he gets a call. First of the night for DeMarcus. Settled by McBride, plays it to Eddie Lewis. Lewis plays the body, blasts into Rivera, and gets the whistle. Free kick for the U.S.
Lewis just going down the side. You see Rivera right there, drops in, 50-50 ball. Both drop the shoulder. Really no foul there.
Yeah, I agree. So Donovan will take this one. The big bodies for the red, white, and blue are in the attack. McBride, Berhalter, Bocanegra, Hope. And look how empty the back post is. McBride spins to the back post. Bocanegra couldn't quite get it, ran over his man. Foul on the U.S.
You can see clearly the U.S. leaves the far post open so they can try to pick a guy and get far post. And you see 2 big guys, Carlos Bocanegra, Brian McBride getting in there. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to make the round run and get to the back post.
We revisit Bruce Arena's checklist, things they were hoping to accomplish. How are they rating so far, Marcelo?
Dealing with the Panama aerial, attack. I think they've done very well with that. They really haven't had any good chances. Breaking down the defense with better possession, they've done a better job. Capitalizing on the chances, I would say they have not capitalized on their chance. They've had better chances than they should finish.
Look at the speed from Donovan. Chips one, Beasley's there. Apparently that ball crossed the end line. Oh, what a burst.
To have speed like that, I would never play defense.
Get speed like that, you wouldn't be playing defense. You'd be a forward. That's why you and Alexi Lawless had to sit back there all the time and cover Winalda and company. Through ball finds Wolf. Wolf collects it on his right. Stoned by Gonzalez. Beasley. Nice tackle by Haydick, but springing up is Medina. Torres lofting one. His man was offside. That's why Phillips didn't budge. Keller off his line and does the wise, intelligent thing and just plays it out.
That's that passive offside rule. He just stands there out of the way, doesn't make a flinch, turns his back, and you're allowed to keep playing.
Moreno with the throw in. Long one looking for Brown. Slides by Pope. Roberto Brown. Through the box. Nobody there. Here's Eddie Lewis. Comes a U.S. counterattack. Lewis charging down the field. Wolf running away. And a nice tackle there at midfield by Torres. Medina. Savagin goes low. Plays it. McBride. Looking for options. Sending it across the field for Beasley. Gonzalez using his head. Wolf spins by his man. Plays it to Beasley. This portion of the match presented by Budweiser. Both teams showing a lot of fight in the early stages of the second half. Again, Panama in a tie with Jamaica for second place in this round of World Cup qualifying. They would love to sneak a point, if not 3, out of this match. The U.S. with the win would move on. Beasley took a late elbow to the chest. No whistle there. I'll tell you, Bruce Arena gets a second goal. Wouldn't be surprised to see Beasley get pulled off right away. Playing with the yellow, and he's taken a lot of knocks today.
I could see that there's quite a few guys out there with yellow cards. You got Eddie Pope, who has a yellow card from the last one. I mean, this is, you got to come out, you got to win the game. You take your chances. They're not going to play the next game. I don't think you pull anybody. You just make sure you get the victory tonight.
Chance for Panama. Berhalter was there to extend his right leg. That one intended for Brown. McBride. Nice pace to the second half. U.S. looking to add to their 1-0 lead. Landon Donovan with the goal in the 21st minute. An assist from Josh Wolf. Here's Eddie Lewis, wide open on the left side. Taking on his man. Lost it in the dribble. That's Victor Miranda, the first half sub for Panama. Outletting it. And a poor outlet. Easily won by Pope. Lays it off to Beasley, to Donovan. Haydick. Think we might see a crossover? Yeah. And the service. Not a good one. Beasley and Haydick double up Miranda, dribbling it out of bounds, throwing for the home side. Update from Kingston. El Salvador and Jamaica tied at 0s at the break. Again, this Panama team won in Jamaica about a month ago. They are a good road team. Small country, ranked 103rd in the latest FIFA World Rankings. They are giving the U.S., ranked number 11, all they can handle. Landon Donovan, the 16th player to wear the captain's armband under Bruce Arena. There's his numbers from tonight, which doesn't show his goal.
Well, you got to remember, Landon just being on the field in the midfield, he's going to be a distraction. So that's going to open up other guys. Beasley's going to be opened up. Frankie's going to be opened up on the outside, Frankie Heidegg. So, I mean, even though he's not getting the ball, just him running into the right space is a distraction.
Brian McBride fouled by Anthony Torres. Torres has got about half of a foul left in him before he gets a yellow card. Which means he's due a yellow card, basically. Free kick, Landon Donovan will take it. Some discussion in the box right now as they jostle for position. Keep an eye on number 3, Greg Berhalter. There on your left side is basically being hugged. A little cat and mouse with Rivera. Just missing Bocanegra and McBride.
This is an issue. Look at Bocanegra all by himself right in the middle. Nobody's marking him. He comes in there, just missing. There's McBride. Just can't seem to get on it. But that's interesting. You leave in Bocanegra, one of the best headers on the U.S. team, all by himself. He comes in there, just look at that, just misses it. And Brian McBride just misses it. And you can see here from Phillips' goal cam from behind. He comes in, boom, the keeper comes out. McBride just in the far post. And that's what they need to do. This goalkeeper is not good on crosses. He comes out, he doesn't get the ball much. But that's what they need to put the ball in there, make the keeper come out.
Eddie Lewis charging and playing one to Josh Wolf. Here's Gonzalez off his line as this portion of the match is presented by the Home Depot. Quick outlet by Panama. Pace has really picked up in the second half, and the first half wasn't slow by any means. Donovan double team back to Beasley. Beasley finds Wolf. Zvagnin, square ball on his left. Sliding one through. Donovan is onside. And scores! Give him 2 for the night. Goals number 18 and now 19 of his international career. Donovan, the captain, the difference maker.
Talk about stepping up when Claudio Reyna's not here. He does. Great ball. Gets a little fake. Gets in there. Boom. Puts it in the back of the net. But it all comes great little ball in by Savagnin. Good vision. Landon, great touch into space. Fakes the shot. Takes it to his left foot. Beats the keeper. Has an open goal and just buries it to put him up 2-0.
And props to Kerry Zavagnin. His second assist in as many games from a defensive midfield position. Chris Armas has a lot of work to do to try and win back that position from Zavagnin right now. Roberto Brown is onside, but that ball too long. We take one more look from the Phillips goal cam at Donovan's second finish of the evening.
And just look at this. He beats the keeper, keeps on the ground, open goal. But look at that. The way he dives in to get the goal. That's the best part. He gives himself, he knocks it too far, but he's willing to dive and get the ball in the back of the net. And you got to love that. Look at that. That's when you score the celebration. He knows how much that goal means to the U.S. being up 2-0 right now.
Donovan, 5 goals and 5 assists for 15 points this year for the red, white, and blue. Easily the most on this U.S. team. Nice give and go. Wolf and Beasley. Here's DeMarcus Beasley on the right side. Low ball sent in. If you're the U.S. staff right now, Marcelo, are you saying put your foot on their neck and go for 3 and 4?
You know, you're feeling it right now. You can see the way they're attacking. Defensively, make sure you're set and go after them. Get the 3rd goal, put it out of reach. Make sure you've got them on their heels already. Keep going, keep putting the pressure on, and keep sending the guys forward. Yes, try to get the 3rd goal in the next 5 minutes and see what happens.
This is also the kind of feel in a game where you can see a really bad, nasty foul, too.
You got to hope that the referee, and we will say, has been a 50-50 day for him. He needs to make sure he controls the game. You don't need any silly fouls. You know these guys got to play one more game. Don't give any silly yellow cards. Make sure if you give a yellow card, it's well-deserved.
Corner kick upcoming for Panama. First First of the half, second of the game. The U.S. still without a corner kick. Stoic Kasey Keller. Nothing rattles that man. Medina. Bicycle kick effort by Miranda.
And for those of you who thought it was a known goal, from the super slow-mo, you can see right here, he comes in the tackle, but look at this. Right off Landon Donovan's knee, and it goes into the back of the net with a super slow-mo. You can catch that. You know, hey, it goes in any way it counts. It puts up the U.S. 2-0.
I wish I had a super slow-mo for my life. Everything looks good in super slow-mo. McBride called for a bump.
You know, I'm glad when I played they didn't have super slow-mo, the Dartmouth slow motion, because you can't get away with anything nowadays.
You know, my senior prom might have even looked good in slow motion because it was a horrendous evening. This portion of the match presented by Chevrolet, and a second Panamanian sub coming up right now. Alberto Zapata set to come on. So another defender comes off. Luis Moreno, the second defender to see his evening come to an early close. Alberto Zapata, number 17, is listed as a midfielder. If you're the United States and you're a forward, you are drooling right now at the opportunity of a slew of counterattacks. But I give Panama credit for putting everything they got out on the field and trying to pull even in this one.
Well, I don't know so much if the U.S. is watching the game, but I can guarantee you Panama right now, watching one guy just go down to the bench, is probably telling the coach what's going on with Jamaica and Salvador.
Diving header by Bocanegra, back to Kasey Keller, quickly outlets it to Frankie Hayden. Settled by Brown, square ball intercepted by Donovan. Oh, he just took a hard boot from Deli Valdez right in front of the official and gets the whistle. I don't think that was a malicious foul by Deli Valdez, but it certainly got studs on Landon. And that guy, Julio Deli Valdez, one of the most accomplished professional soccer players ever from Panama. Played in Panama, Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, Italy, France, and Spain. I mean, that is a resume and a half. Spent a lot of time at Kinko's making copies of that resume. Well in by DeMarcus Beasley. Saved by Medina. If the U.S. right now, Marcelo, what is important for them?
One, you know what, knock the ball around, make the other team chase you. They're going to have to open up to get some goals. You're going to get your counterattacks. Keep possession of the ball, make Panama, use the clock, but make sure you go forward. Just don't knock around and wait. Make sure you knock it around and keep possession of it.
Josh Wolf. Good defensive effort there from Carlos Rivera, who initially lost it. Long ball out by Blanco. Offside flag is up. Live from RFK Stadium in our nation's capital, you are watching coverage of FIFA World Cup semifinal. Qualifying action between Panama and the United States alongside Marcelo Balboa. I'm Rob Stone. Glad you're with us this evening. United States with 2 goals from their captain tonight, Landon Donovan. The U.S. wins. They move on to the final round of World Cup qualifying from this region. The top 6 teams in this region will advance. The top 3 teams in that final group will move on to FIFA World Cup 2006 in Germany. It is a long, arduous process to qualify for the World Cup. And the U.S. is this close to getting set to make that final step. U.S. also this close to making their first substitution of the game. And it looks like the young speedster Eddie Johnson of the Dallas Burn will be coming on, who made his first international appearance last Saturday in El Salvador. All he did was score a goal. Probably the easiest goal he ever scored in his life, but still a goal nonetheless. Here's a break for Deli Valdez. Cuts, fires, blocked. Keller keeps it in bounds. Linesman saying it crossed the end line. Keller is apoplectic about it, but it'll be a corner kick for Panama.
And you know what? And that's a good example right there. How Brown and Deli Valdez have not even been close to working together tonight. Deli gets in. He's got nobody to pass the ball. He's got to cut it back. That's how far apart they've been all night.
Third corner of the game for Panama. Valdez heads it off the top of the crossbar. What a beautiful strike. That is why he has been a commodity in the international soccer world for years.
This is what they haven't gone to all night. They haven't let Deli get free. Here you can see he gets free, and this is why you don't want to let him get free. Look at the way he snaps his head, just puts it over the top, hits the crossbar, but that's where he's most dangerous. Even though he's going away, you can still see the power when he snaps his head. He gets on that ball.
He does not play like he's 37 years old. This portion of the match is presented by Gatorade. Long ball looking for McBride, tripped up as he tried to spin, no call. ESPN2 wraps up its regular season coverage of Major League Soccer this Sunday. A live game right here at RFK Stadium. The Metro Stars take on Freddie Adu and Ernie Stewart, Ben Olsen, the rest of DC United. Those two battling for home field advantage live this Sunday, 5 Eastern on ESPN2. And here is the first U.S. sub, Josh Wolf, coming off. He had an assist on the game's first goal. And Eddie Johnson, the youngster, comes on his second international appearance. Johnson became just the 7th U.S. player since 1986 to score in his U.S. debut. One of 38 overall U.S. players to do that. There's a fire on Frank from distance from Blanco, and Keller is there. Panama's put together a couple nice efforts the last minute and change.
Really has. Great shot. Look at that ball bending, but there you go. Casey Keller, simple. Instead of catching it, puts it over the top and gives him a corner kick.
Medina drives one far post. Berhalter challenges and then takes an elbow from Deli Valdez, and Berhalter is still down. Remember, he took a nasty shot in practice in Germany a few months back that basically broke his whole face. They're calling for a stretcher. Berhalter is back up. Things getting testy in our nation's capital, and certainly Berhalter is extra angry because of his past history with the injury to his face.
You're always going to be wary of it, but there you see, look at this. He gets up right
and
there.
Yeah.
Definitely out-complained too, and the side referee should have seen that. But here's what we talked about being a leader. You see the way Casey went in there, pulled him out of there, and that's why he's in there. Get him out of the situation.
It was Roberto Brown who caught him on the follow-through with his left arm. No call was made. Again, only one card has been issued tonight, and that's to DeMarcus Beasley. A lot of time moving off the clock here as the referees are instructing Berhalter to tuck in his jersey. It's the least of his worries, I would think. Flicked on by McBride. Eddie Johnson, his first touch. Hayden sticks his head in there, rather Bocanegra. Beasley plays it out. Here's Brian McBride. Donovan wide open on the right side, and it's lofted to him. Hard charging defensive effort there by Panama. Forces Donovan back. Hayden is tripped up as he drops it off. Miranda the foul. Miranda, or rather Medina, say hello to a funky cold yellow card. I've been holding off on that line all night. For me to wait until the 69th minute, you ought to be pretty proud of me. Medina, first yellow card of the game for Panama, second overall.
And well-deserved. Frankie Haddock plays the ball in, tries to go around him. Medina doesn't play the ball. He just basically takes him out with his hip. Well-deserved yellow card.
33 total fouls in this one. Pride wins it, and that drops to Bocanegra. Here's Zavagnin with an assist tonight to Beasley. Bocanegra again looking for the service. Far post. Johnson is there. Give him 2 in 2 games. Oh, Eddie Johnson. That's an impact, son. Fans, start booking your tickets. You're moving on to the next round of World Cup qualifying.
Well, when you come in off the bench, you have to be a spark. You have to do something to light your team up. And look what he does. He pulls himself away. Great ball to the far post by Carlos Bocanegra. Simple. Just places it into the corner. Gets a second goal. But the ball from Carlos Bocanegra going far post. Eddie Johnson, the way he pulls himself away from his defender. Look at that. Simple. Just put it over the top of the keeper. Gets a second goal. And you know what? That's the way you earn a spot on this team. 2 games, 2 goals.
Eddie Johnson, the 20-year-old native of Palm Coast, Florida, tied for the MLS goal-scoring lead with 11 finishes this year. This is his breakout year, folks. People have been waiting for Eddie Johnson to produce in MLS and on this level for years. He did it with the under-17s. He did it with the under-20 national team. And now in 2 games, in a span of 5 days, he has 2 finishes. Eddie, you've got yourself another callback.
There's another good look from the Phillips goal cam. Goalkeeper comes out. Look at Eddie Johnson, the way he pulls himself away, and then thank you. Just touches it over the keeper, puts it in the side netting.
This portion of the match presented by Budweiser. 3-0 U.S., 2 goals in the second half. One by Donovan, one by Ed Johnson. Keller off his line, cleanly brings it in. He is just so amazingly composed. There's Eddie Johnson wearing those gold shoes. You have to back up your game. You come to the field wearing gold cleats. Keller, the 34-year-old, which is about when a goalkeeper really hits his prime. He's got a lot of good years left in him. The goalkeeping situation for the U.S. very interesting. Tim Howard, the youngster from New Jersey, on the bench, playing for Manchester United. Started the season as Manchester United starter. Has since been moved to the bench. Brad Friedel has made some comments the last couple weeks saying that maybe this is the end of his international career. We don't know if that's kind of a ploy on his part to get called back in. He's been fighting some injuries. The goalkeeper situation, an interesting one, but as long as Kasey Keller is healthy, I'm not sure anybody else deserves to play.
You know, you have to give Brad Friedel a shot just because of what he did in 2002 in the World Cup. But like I said earlier in the year, for this team, for the U.S. national team, Kasey Keller, it's his job to lose. Tim Howard's going to push him. Brad Friedel's going to push him. But the confidence that he gives his players, and you can see Kasey Keller, the confidence he gives to these guys, yelling for balls, screaming at people, the leader he is, it's his job to lose.
U.S. set to make their second substitution of the game. Kerry Zavagnin will be coming off. That is Manuel Torres being carted off by Panama. Pablo Mastroeni, number 25 there at the bottom of your screen, set to come on for the U.S. It's the second sub of the game for Mastroeni. His 6th appearance for the U.S. this year and his 31st overall for the Phoenix, Arizona native. Kerry Zavagnin has really earned the spot for the red, white, and blue this year. He was a guy, Zavagnin was, that maybe at best at the end of last year was maybe 3rd or 4th on the depth chart at that position for the U.S. behind an Armas, behind a Mastroeni, and here he is. It's going to be awfully hard to take him out of that spot.
It is, but you give him credit because when they gave him the opportunity, unfortunately, Chris Armas went down with an injury from the Chicago Fire. Pablo Mastroeni went down with an injury in the year. Kerry Zavagnin got his chance, and he's made the best of that chance, and he's done a great job this year, and has basically had a breakout year himself.
Panama with the sub now as well. And then Mitre comes on.
Be alert! Be alert! Be alert!
There's Eddie Johnson with the burst of speed. In alone. Defender on his left hip. Johnson slows it down. Cuts back on his left. Fires. And right at Gonzalez. Manuel Torres, the man that came off for Panama. So Panama's used their allotment of substitutions. U.S. still has one more left, should they decide to use it.
You know, and that's something the U.S. team has never had. Speed like Eddie Johnson up front. That threat behind and not putting down anybody else's speed. And the U.S. has had great forwards from Eric Winalda to Bruce Murray. But Eddie Johnson brings that pace that they've never had. Now they're a threat to get in behind with their pace on the defense.
Phillips. Brown lofting it. Headed down. A little casual header there. I think he was trying to hook up with Deli Valdez, who was positioned a few yards away from Keller. Got the header from Zapata, second half sub. Long outlet for the U.S. It was about 15 minutes away from reaching the final stage of World Cup qualifying in this region. This portion of the match presented by Gatorade. Eddie Lewis closed down. There's Bocanegra. We're used to seeing Bocanegra many times for the U.S. playing in the middle of the defense. How do you think he's fared out wide left today?
I think he's done a good job. Both outside, Carlos Bocanegra and Frankie Heidegger have done a good job of closing down what the U.S. thought was going to be a threat of getting the balls into the box. They've closed down that, and I think they've done a good job. And you also like the fact that he's got a left foot. The way he's using that left foot over the last year, he's improved. Greg Berhalter with the left foot on that side of the field is something you like to have, a left-footed player on the left side of the field.
Here's Eddie Lewis. Lofting one. Brian McBride heads it down, looking for Johnson, and Medina, scrappy and hustling, wins it back for Panama. Brown outlets it, trying to hook up with Deli Valdez. Goes all the way back to K.C. Keller. Keller. Haydick goes over the back of his man. Quickly rate taken. Dina, Deli Valdez, and there's Blanco, number 8. A jailbreak for the United States. Lewis, Beasley, Johnson. Here's Beasley. Flag is up. That could have been 4-0.
You see, it's just a matter of timing. Right there, he's not offside. Awful call by the referee. He is onside. Clearly perfect timing.
I mean, DeMarcus seriously must have done something to this officiating crew.
That to me, you know, I would say if it's a long ball you're watching, the ball was right there.
Yeah. Jurgen Klinsmann in the house. Gentleman on the right in the black, manager of Germany, living in LA before he took over the national team coach for Germany. Probably out here to do a little scouting as well, as there are some serious talks of a U.S.-Germany game sometime in the very near future.
Well, too, he's been around the U.S. program. He helped the U.S. early in the year. He was with the L.A. Galaxy. I think he's starting to like I guess what we're building here and trying to see how it works. But also, too, you know, he's scouting players.
Absolutely. I ran into him in the bathroom here at RFK Stadium, and he has lost his German accent. He sounded awfully native to me. I guess it doesn't take long living in Los Angeles to pick up the American twang. He has his hands full, and there's a lot of pressure coaching the home country for a World Cup, particularly if it's soccer-crazy Germany.
Well, the good thing is no pressure of having to qualify. They're the host country. They're going to be there. You've got all the way up to the World Cup to look at players, see different players, start building a system. Not having to worry about qualifying is much easier for a coach.
Beasley plays it back to Bocanegra. Here's Brian McBride, a little behind Eddie Lewis, who gets whacked from behind. Free kick for the U.S.
And this is what you have to be careful. You see right there, takes him down, doesn't even go for the ball. And that's the way it's been all night. You knew coming in here was going to be a physical game. Elbows were going to be thrown, studs were going to be flying. And both teams have played well. Nothing really malicious going after it, but you know this kind of game, because it's so important, it was going to be a very physical game.
36 total fouls in this game, 20 on Panama. Donovan to Haydick. This portion of the match presented by Phillips. Frankie Haydick cuts inside. Lefty floating service headed up and out by Panama. Haydick wins that one over Medina. Nice bit of skill there on the back line. Stolen by Donovan, has two already to McBride. And McBride caught up in traffic. Trey on the ball, took a knock, goes down, we play on. Berhalter tripped up, we continue to play on. A little push right there by Brown, that is finally whistled. ABC is your home for MLS Cup 2004, Sunday, November 14th, live 3:30 p.m. Eastern from the Home Depot Center. MLS Cup 2004, ABC Sports, home of championship television. Who's going to be there, Marcelo? Tough one, I know.
You know what? There's not one clear-cut favorite. You think Columbus just because they're on a streak. Any team that gets in right now, there's no play set. Anybody's got a chance this year.
Mastroeni, a nice tackle. Johnson. Bride. Let Rivera up to the task. Huge month of soccer. Really the next month and a half here in the United States. Beasley pulled from behind. He will finally get a yellow card on somebody who fouled him. That'll be Zapata with a yellow. Mentioned MLS Cup, November 14th. The MLS playoffs kick off next week. Runs October through November. U.S. women's send-off game versus Denmark in Philadelphia, November 6th. Of course, the World Cup qualifier between the U.S. and Jamaica in Columbus. Eddie Johnson lurking and looking for his second. Corner kick for the United States. This is their first of the game. In the 83rd minute. Rarely do you see your first corner this late in the game, particularly when you're the team with a rather large lead.
The key for this one, get it over the first guy. Give your guys a chance, and that's what they've problems over the last 2 or 3 games.
Berhalter heads it back in. There's McBride. Johnson, he's got another! Eddie Johnson, 2 for the night, 3 for his career. The Young Guns came to play tonight. Donovan with 2, Johnson with 2. It's 4-0 U.S.
I tell you, what can you say? Players not being selfish. Look at Berhalter in. Look at McBride playing it in. Bocanegra comes across. Eddie Johnson right there by himself and buries it. And a good look from the Phillips goal camp. Look at the ball coming up. McBride lays it in. Bocanegra cross. Eddie Johnson, thank you very much. 4-0 USA. What can you say? And this is what we talked about too. Not going to take anything away from that goal, but the goalkeeping on Panama's side, and you can see all the goals coming in the air, coming out of the boxes, have been very poor tonight.
Goalkeeping is suspect in this region, outside of really the United States.
You know, in this region, they're known more for shot stopping. Real quick, block here, block here. They're not known for coming out of their box and getting crosses. And tonight has been a very good example of these guys, of this goalkeeper, Gonzalez, not coming off his line and getting the ball out of the air.
And props to Carlos Bocanegra, defender assisting on the last 2 goals for the United States. That is why he was a coveted property. That's why he is playing in England right now. Bocanegra, aggressive hard tackle. U.S. set to make their 3rd and final substitution, and it will be a rookie coming on for the States. Eddie Johnson. International goals number 2 and 3 tonight. Johnson has a rather big game this Saturday as he takes on Landon Donovan in San Jose at the Cotton Bowl. Those 2 teams fighting for the final playoff spot in the Western Conference. Here is that U.S. sub. What a great moment here for Oguchi Onyewu, the only Maryland native coming on for Eddie Pope. Onyewu plays his professional ball in Belgium, played collegiately at Clemson, the only roster player yet to earn an international cap until right now. This kid is a stud in the stable. Beasley, Bocanegra, back to Beasley. Donovan keeps it alive. Mastroeni of the Colorado Rapids, outside of the boot, leads Lewis. Instead, it's Johnson. Mastroeni dribbles through 2, make it 3. Lays it off, Lewis. Johnson making a run, give him a hat trick! Oh, Eddie Johnson! 3 goals in 17 minutes for the 20-year-old. It's a rout.
What can you say about the buildup? Great buildup. Gets the ball in. Pablo Mastroeni does a great job. He runs at the defense, commits him, gets the ball wide. But here's the best part. Plays the ball between the keeper and the defense, and Eddie Johnson's right there, just puts it in the back of the net. But it all starts with Pablo Mastroeni with that great little layoff. And Eddie Lewis, great ball. Eddie Johnson, boom. 3 goals tonight. Very happy man.
All 4 of his international goals have come no further than 3.5 yards away from the goal line. Doesn't matter how far away you are, they all count the same. 5-0 the United States. Landon Donovan had the first 2 goals, and then Eddie Johnson with a natural hat trick. Finishes in the 70th, 84th, and 87th minute. Onyewu on the ball. Lofts one in. Eddie Johnson. Out of bounds. If you asked us about 20 minutes ago, that man would have been your no-brainer for your Chevy man of the match. Now he has some competition. Eddie Lewis making a run down the left side. Cuts, fakes the cross, chipping. Beasley, the chest. And not much you could do there with that one. And a late bad foul. And a yellow card. It's Eddie Lewis down on the field. Miranda receiving a yellow, 3rd yellow card of the second half on Panama. Oh, it's the knock on that cheek. Landon Donovan had a 4-goal game in July of last year, but Eddie Johnson, the first U.S. hat trick by a substitute. Sam's Army is really enjoying themselves right now at RFK Stadium. Donovan sends it in. Own goal? Or do you give it to McBride or Onyewu? Regardless, it's 6-0.
Let's take a look. Landon Donovan with a great ball bending in. Wow.
Might have been Onyewu.
Might have been Onyewu. Might have been McBride. They're both right there. That's a tough one to call. I'm going to say you give it to the young one.
Oh, really?
Give it to a defender.
Spoken like a true defender. They are crediting it as an own goal right now. They may change that one. Not a good night for Donaldo Gonzalez. Three minutes of stoppage time will be added. This may just about do it for Panama's hopes for advancing to the next round of World Cup qualifying. But it will guarantee the United States a berth. They'll be one of the final 6 teams from this region who will be battling for 3 spots.
Panama
FIFA World Cup 2006.
Jamaica, Salvador tie. They're only 1 point ahead, 7-6 points. Jamaica, Panama plays Salvador. It could be, it could go either way. The U.S. is playing smart. They're knocking around. Panama's going to sit back, knock it around. You're in extra time already. You got 2-3 minutes. Knock it around. Make sure you're smart. Don't get anybody hurt. Don't put anybody in a position where they can get tackled. Just knock it around. Panama's not going to come out of that shell. And this is where I agree with you earlier, where the referee should just say thank you very much and call it.
Eddie Lewis. Onyewu on the ball, playing it back to Keller. This will be the biggest margin of victory for the U.S. since a 5-0 win versus Cuba in July of last year, and it is over. The U.S. has moved on to the final round of Regional World Cup qualifying with a convincing 6-0 shellacking of Panama. Landon Donovan, Chevrolet man of the match, #1 tonight. He had 2 goals, including the game winner in the 21st minute. The captain, dominating performance. And Eddie Johnson, our Chevrolet man of the match, #2 with goals in the 70th, 84th, and 87th minute. They are Chevrolet men of the match. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to the U.S. Soccer Foundation in the names of Landon Donovan and Eddie Johnson. Take a look at updated standings now from Group 1 of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. The U.S. has clinched a berth, regardless of what happens in their game November 17th versus Jamaica in Columbus. We will be back to wrap up this monumental victory for the United States after this break. 5 goals in the second half. The U.S. wins it